Hey guys, so do you want to play a ranger that doesn't even touch spells, but can totally do traps and stuff, right? I got you. Stay tuned.
Dun 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 dun. B-sides.
Hello and welcome to Pathfinder B-Sides. I am your host, Professor Phoenix, and today we're going to be going over the ranger archetype Trapper. I know you guys are so stoked, right? Well, let's hop into it. The flavor text from the D20 PFSRD states, a trapper is a ranger who focuses exclusively on traps rather than learning conventional magic. It's pretty straightforward. Don't need to do a whole lot of research onto what kind of race is good for a ranger that wants to be a trapper and why the race is very specific to the trapper. I'm looking at you, Wishcrafter. I'm just saying, let's get into it. So to start off with, a trapper adds disable device to your list of class skills in addition to the normal ranger class skills. Sweet, solid start, great open. Next we've got trap finding. A trapper adds half her ranger level on perception skill checks made to locate traps and on disable device skill checks, minimum of +1. A trapper can use disable device to disarm magic traps. The really important thing here to remember is that trap finding is normally only a rogue ability. Like rogue, unchained rogue. I think that's it. I'm pretty sure that's what you get without taking a special trait or an archetype for a class. This is straight up how you get trap finding. So it's a very solid, good win. I like it. Next, it's simply titled Trap. At 5th level, the trapper learns how to create a snare trap and one other ranger trap of her choice. We'll go over all of them in a minute. But at 7th level and every 2 levels thereafter, she learns another trap. The trapper can use these traps a total number of times per day equal to half your ranger level plus your wisdom modifier. Once a trap is learned, it can't be unlearned and replaced with a different type of trap. The trapper cannot select an individual trap more than once. This ability replaces the ranger's spell class feature. Trappers do not gain any spells or spellcasting ability, do not have a caster level, and cannot use spell trigger and spell completion magic items. Hot diggity damn, that hurts. Unless you want to be dealing with traps, in which case, why even bother with spells? Well, we'll go over the different kinds of traps, but leave that for the cleric, the druid, and the wizard in the party. You've got better prey in mind. Yeah. So anyways, if you start off at 5, and then every odd level from 5, you got 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, 17, 19. You get a total of 8 different traps over the course of this time. You can use these up to half your range level plus your wisdom modifier, so it's still a pretty good idea for you to be putting points into wisdom and just being an all-around badass and making sure that you can see the traps so that way you can disarm the traps and maybe take a note from the trap so that way you can put your GM on their toes later on. Sounds awesome. I love it. Now, how do I feel about losing the spells? It depends on your playstyle, honestly. I'm okay with losing them in this case because the ranger spell list is not super solid. They have a lot of great spells, but other classes get them sooner. And honestly, if you're a ranger relying on your spells to do what you do, I don't think you're doing it right. But, tell me I'm wrong in the comments. Yeah. So next up, we've got Launch Trap. At 10th level, a trapper can affix a magical ranger trap to an arrow, crossbow bolt, or thrown weapon, allowing her to set the trap remotely or use it as a direct attack. Attaching the trap to the projectile is part of the full round action of creating a new trap. The trap projectile is fired or thrown in the normal manner. If fired at a square, the trap is treated as if the ranger had set the trap in that square, except the DC is 5 lower than normal. Boo. If fired at a creature, the target takes damage from the ranged weapon and is treated as if it had triggered the trap. Saving throw applies, if any. The attack has a maximum range of 60 feet, and range increments apply to the attack roll. The duration of the trap projectile starts from when it was created, not from when it is used. So, effectively, I mean, without, the DC overlords looking at us, you're looking at basically being the Green Arrow in this case, huh? Like, you could have a punching bag attached and let loose the arrow and suddenly you're knocking out an enemy. Sounds cool, sounds dumb, and sounds like a lot of fun. So, next on the list is we're going to be going over all of the actual sample traps, and I'm sure you can talk your GM into changing the flavor of one or two of these, so that way it's a little more custom fit to the character that you're playing. So before I go into all the information on all the different traps, I'd like to take a second to tell you what kind of ranger styles I think would be pretty legit for this. And by no means is this correct or, like the end-all be-all, but I think anything that's ranged, like archery or crossbow or thrown weapon, those bad boys seem to be pretty legit. And then later on you've got the actual divine combat styles where you've got, like, if the deity that you follow has these, you have access to, like, charging throw, and finally there's the reactive fighting style as well. So there's all of those lovely guys. And now for the traps, and this is just a sample of them. Your GM and you can come up with more later. But on the Trapper Archetype page at the bottom of the screen, you've got a whole slew of different traps you can go with. There's Acid Trap, Alarm Trap, Burning Trap, Blight Burn Trap. You've got Bludgeoning Trap. You've got Channeled Energy Trap. You've got Decoy Trap, Dirty Trick Trap, which to me sounds like fun. Distraction Trap, Exploding Trap, Fire Trap, Firework Trap, Freezing Trap, Lazurite Trap, Limning Trap, Marking Trap, Oversized Barbs, Penetrating Trap, Pit Trap, Poison Trap, Quicksand Trap, Rust Monster Trap, Selective Trigger, Sleet Trap, Smoke Trap, Snare Trap, Spell Stealing Trap, seems a little specific on that one. Spell Storing Trap, a little less specific on that one. Summoned Ally Trap, Swarm Trap, Tar Trap, Toxic Fumes Trap, Transdimensional Trap, Tripwire, and a Wounding Trap. So if you want to go into more detail on these bad boys, the link is in the description for you to go to the Trapper Archetype, and at the bottom of the screen you've got all of these sample traps that you can go through, and honestly some of these look like they're kind of fun. Some of them, no, I don't see one boring one. They all look like they're legit for different reasons. So take a look. It's in a book, D20 PFSRD. So overall, this archetype seems to be a lot more versatile. You have a lot higher range of options you can do. You are no longer able to rely on spells, which, depending on your play style, either opens up your day or makes you focus a lot more on these sweet traps. Because could you imagine having spells and these traps? Nuh-uh. You'd be it'd be like a Rubik's Cube inside of a Jello mold. So it just a little bit too much, in my opinion. But the way it is, it's pretty good. You still have access to everything else that you would normally get as a ranger, so you still have all your sweet skill points. You still have all of your favorite enemies, your favorite terrains. You still have your wild empathy, your combat feats. You still get endurance, for whatever that's worth. You still get your hunter's bond. You get everything else. The only thing you're really giving up on this is going to be your spellcasting. So, yeah, man, congratulations. I think we found a winner. But yeah, that's the sweet video. A little bit of follow-up on this. There's the Discord if you want to come talk with us. And I mean, honestly, I'm almost always playing video games when I'm not, doing this. Right now I'm on a Discord fix, but I just got this sweet game called Total War Warhammer. Yeah. So if anyone wants to lose about 8 hours of their life on a Saturday, you know, hit me up. Also, there is a Twitter for my daily wonderings about random stuff. I'm pretty down with that. And then finally, that brings us to the Patreon, where any money from that generally goes towards resources that I use for this channel. It goes for different books. It goes for a better microphone. Maybe a better audio recording software would be pretty legit, but ultimately that helps me. Either way, I'll still be making recordings even if I'm just using a headphone and using the the microphone side in order to record. Yeah, that's totally a thing you can do, by the way. The sound quality is horrible, and I'm way beyond that, but I mean, I'm just saying I would still be putting this up. And finally, there's we have a lot of stuff we're working on in the background, and if you made it through this far in the video, thanks guys. Y'all take it easy and keep gaming.